Hello students, you're welcome to today's lesson. Today we'll be looking at vegetation 2. In our previous lesson, we discussed about vegetation. We looked at the definition of vegetation, factors controlling vegetation. We also talked about the major division of vegetation, the types of forest vegetation. So at this lesson, we're looking at the types of the grassland vegetation. And some of the objectives are we should be able to state the different types of the grassland vegetation. Also, we're looking at the discussion of the savanna vegetation, their characteristics and plant fauna. Also, we're looking at grassland, the desert vegetation, and we should be able to state the characteristics of these vegetation types. Also, we'll be looking at the cold desert vegetation, its characteristics. Looking at the major types of grassland vegetation, it is divided into two major groups. We have the tropical savanna and the temperate grassland. First, we're going to discuss the tropical savanna. The tropical savanna is located around West Africa, Central Africa, Brazil, and the interior Queensland. Some of the major characteristics are many of the trees have canopies which are umbrella-like in shape, and the trees also have thick bark that reduce excessive transpiration. The grasses are tall, usually 2 to 3 meters high, and they grow in compact tufts. The vegetation is made up of woody trees, shrubs, grasses, and herbs. This vegetation type is deciduous in nature. Some of the factors affecting the distribution of these vegetation types are moderate rainfall and high temperature throughout the year. They also have concentrated rainfall in the wet season, and livestock grazing and bush burning by man is a major factor. Some of the tree species found in this region are baobab, acacia, shea butter, locust beans, elephant grass. And these trees are of economic value to man. Some of the trees are called for fuel, while others, like locust beans and shea butter, they provide edible products. The grasses and shrubs provide forage for animals, while some of the trees at the fringe of the rainforest are used for timber. Many savanna plants are valuable economic crops. Examples, we have the maize, guinea corn, millet, and rice. Next, we'll be looking at the temperate grassland. The temperate grassland is located around the steppe of Russia, the pampas of Argentina, and the verge of South Africa down to Australia. This vegetation belt is subdivided into two, the steppe and the prairie vegetation. The steppe grassland has more woody plants than the prairies, which is a sea of grasses. The grasses are shorter and less luxuriant than those of the savanna. Looking at the steppe savanna, the grasses have more coarse leaves than the prairies, and the vegetation is deciduous. Some of the factors affecting the distribution of the temperate grassland are light rainfall, and also we have high temperature in summer and low temperatures in winter. Also, insolation is high during summer, which leads to high evaporation, while there's also intensive grazing and cultivation by man. The temperate grasslands are good for large cultivation of grains such as wheat and corn in the American and Canadian prairies. We also have the steppes and veg of South Africa. rearing of animals like cattle in the pampas and steppes, and also sheep in the verge are of major economic activity. The sheep are reared to provide valuable wool for export. Some of the trees species that are found in this region are the popolas, the willows, and others. And all these are found along water courses, which are with long periods grasses and also short step grasses. Next, we'll be looking at the major types of desert vegetation. The desert vegetation is divided into two. We have the hot deserts and the cold desert. Now, looking at the hot deserts, it is located around the Sahara, the Great Australian, the Arabian, and the Kalahari, and also the Namib deserts. The plants in this region possess some certain characteristics. They are drought-resistant plants, dominate the vegetation, and most parts of the deserts are devoid of vegetation. Areas receiving low amount of rainfall also have shrubs. Some of the trees or leaves are of needle-like in shape, and many of the plants produce seeds which lie dormant until there is some rain to make them germinate. Grasses in this region are coarse, and trees are rare except for date palms in oases. Plants like cactus have thick succulent stems to store water to withstand drought. Some of the tree species are coarse grasses. We have cactus, acacias. We also have bush and date palms in the oasis. Some of these trees are of economic importance. They are used for irrigation farming that is practiced in oases along the river courses, where cash and food crops are planted along the Nile Valley. Date palm is a major economic tree, so hunting takes place in such regions, such as the Kalahari and the Aborigines of Australia. Some of the major factors affecting the distribution are low rainfall or lack of rainfall with high temperature and excessive transpiration. Next, we'll be looking at the cold deserts. These are located around the northern Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and Antarctica. Vegetation in this region are mostly of ground covers of lychees and mosses. Hunting and fishing are undertaken by the Yakuts in the region. Farming is not important. Some of the factors affecting are low precipitation and extreme low temperature. With this, we have come to the end of the lesson. Please do well to attempt your quizzes and ask questions if there are any. Thank you and see you in my next class. Bye for now.